Cool.
Right. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So let me get my view right. I like the gallery view. All right. Perfect. So how many of you all have the new iOS 16? Anybody? Have you been playing around with it? For those who have it, I see Betty shaking her head no. All right. I'm just getting a feel. Okay. Cool. So I'm excited about this iOS. There's a lot of features about this new iOS 16 that I think will make all of our lives easier. So, I think when it comes down to Apple and Android phones or iPhones and Android phones, I think Apple simplifies it. It's not to say that Android phones are bad. Apple kind of build upon their operating system, so you always keep those same features. They may move some furniture around, and you got to go and look for it, but it's usually not that hard to find. And by furniture, I mean like different features and different options that they actually have on the phone. With this one here, um, there's a few different features I want to highlight because I think it would be advantageous for you all to know them. One would be to unsend a text message. You can also unsend an email, which is really, really cool because sometimes you do it by accident, or you can edit a text message. And you could do also, you can actually go on. Some people have deleted text messages and they can't go and retrieve them. Apple has created a feature where now you can actually go and retrieve those deleted messages if you did it by accident. So there's some other things when it comes down to um, as far as like pictures and screensavers, a lot of fun stuff. So we're going to try to touch upon it. And obviously, we all use our phones very differently. So that's what the chat feature would be. Like Nicole had mentioned, raise your physical hand or put up your digital hand. We will get to you or put something in the chat box. But I'll try to cover as much as I possibly can in this hour. Now 56 minutes, and we'll leave some time for Q&A as well. So with that being said, I'm going to start by showing you just a little quick diagram. We won't spend too much time on it. For those who are new to the iPhone, who have been using the iPhone and don't understand all of the buttons and all of that good stuff. In addition to that, if you don't actually have an iPhone and you're considering getting an iPhone, this will be that class to try to make you jump off the hoop. I'm not selling it. We don't make any money. I just think it's very easy to use. All right. So with that being said, let me actually share my screen. And I have this up. So I wanted to kind of give you this diagram and give you an idea of what you have on your phone. It's a lot of stuff on here, and I'll move through it quickly, but I want to make sure you all understand it. With this here, if you have an iPhone 3 or 2, 3 through 8, although the physical shape has changed, the things are sort of in the same place. So on the phone itself, and let me just rate. I have an iPhone 8 Plus here. So on this guy here, you're seeing that you have the receiver and microphone at the very top. So that's when you're talking on the phone. It's actually a microphone and a speaker. You have your FaceTime camera, and that's the camera that you could take selfies with as well. You have your ringer silencer on the left here. And if you go into the movies and you want to silence your phone, or you just want to silence it when you're at home, you just push it back. If you want the ringer to be on, you push it forward towards you as you're facing the phone. We've talked about this in previous classes. When it comes down to the volume buttons, they serve two different purposes. Actually, yeah, I would say two, because they control the volume of the phone call and sometimes even of like actually they control the volume of your phone call, as well as if you're playing music or if you're watching a movie, you can control the volume of those items as well. In addition to that, if you were to take a picture, you can actually use your up or down volume button as the shutter button. So instead of using the actual shutter button on the phone, and I'll show it to you when I get in, you can use these as kind of like an old school camera, and I have them on my bottom here, or you can actually flip it up to the top where now my right index finger will control those buttons to take that picture. Okay, so a physical button. The app icons, we'll get into that when we actually look at the phone. Multi-touch display, again, we'll get into that with the phone. We don't have a headset jack on the iPhone 8 and above anymore. That could be used with your where you kind of charge your phone here. There's a little dongle that you can use to attach that, but most people are either using wireless headphones like I'm using right now, or if you are using something like that, there's a way that you can actually plug it where you charge your phone. If you have, I believe the iPhone 7 or 6 should certainly have it, and you can still put your headset jack in there, that aux cable. Underneath, you have a microphone and a speaker. And I say that because sometimes it actually gets muffled if you're covering it up. So if you do have it on speaker and you're talking, you don't have to do this when you're speaking. You can have it away and they can still hear you just fine, but just know that you have a speaker where you can hear and also a microphone at the bottom as well. Your lightning connector is how you charge your phone. In addition to that, you could have a lightning connector that can connect to a physical aux cable so you can put on some headphones there. On the other side, you have your sleep wake button, and this is also your power button, depending upon how you hold it, how long you press it, but you can turn your phone off that way. It also allows you to work in conjunction with the iPhone 8 and below. You can use that and this button on the side to take a screenshot of whatever's on your screen. I'll show you how to do that on the iPhone 10s and above. It's usually the one of the volume keys and that button itself on the side, the sleep wake button. You have your SIM card tray, depending upon the phone carrier that you have, so you can switch out that SIM card. In most cases, you probably won't ever touch that SIM card, only if it gets damaged by whatever reason, or if you had to get a new phone or whatever. That's when we would go in and remove that SIM card and exchange it with a newer one or the one that has the right phone number on there. On the back, oh, I'm sorry, and then you have your home button. That's very important. So if you have an iPhone 8 and below, that home button is actually going to always get you back to the home screen. And if you're on whichever screen, and I'll show you, it always takes you back to that main screen. On the back itself, you have your camera. We started out with the back camera on the iPhones, then they added the front camera years later. The back camera is always more powerful than the front camera. I wouldn't say they're starting to catch up, but the iPhone camera on the front is getting better. But the back will always give you the better picture. So if you're going to take a picture, use your back camera, whichever phone you have. Then you have your flash, which I have one here, and you could see it on that diagram there. Your flash will, be used. You can have that when we get into the camera. That can be on auto, or you can actually have it on every single photo that you take, or you can actually put it on, take it off in general and just like use your camera without your flash. Now, everything we just covered on here, I won't dive too deep on the other one. Now, this should be the iPhone 10 to 13. We haven't updated it yet, as that phone just came out about a month ago. But essentially, the things are the same. The SIM card moved to the other side, as you can see with the iPhone 10s and above. We still have our microphone speaker. The camera itself, it's getting better and better with the iPhone 10s through 14. We have our microphone and speaker on the bottom, just like we had on the other phone. And then on the back, as you can see, the camera is getting a little bulkier. It's getting better. You still have your flash, and all of that stuff essentially stays the same. So with that, I am going to share my phone here with you all so you could see all this cool stuff that's happening. There we go. Allow. Perfect. Can you all see my phone now? So this is my personal phone, and I also have like the nerd phone right here, which is the iPhone 8 Plus. I keep it because there's still a lot of people that have the button. So I want to keep it because there are some features that will not carry over with this phone and it will be on this guy here. But the idea is the same. I have a lot of different apps, as you could see. Obviously, your phone may look a little different, but the functionality stays the same. And that's why I really want to kind of go over. So, first things first. Um, I'm actually going to just kind of go on my own order in the importance I think that we should go. The main feature that I'm really excited about, especially for you all, is this search feature right there. And you can kind of see it on the bottom of my screen above those four apps. Before, you used to have to swipe down. So to get all the apps, sometimes I see a lot, people with their phones, and they have like a ton of apps. And I'm like, hey, where's your settings app? And they're like, oh, give me 1 second, swiping and swiping, and then they're looking for it. Here, what you could do is you could tap on search, and you can actually just go and type it in, and it'll give you that app itself. So we had that feature before, but it was a different way of going about it. And honestly, I think it was harder for people to kind of swipe down in the right spot for you to be able to get to the settings app. So now, if you are looking for an app that you have on your phone, you could just tap on search and then you can look for that app. In addition to that, you can look for emails, you can look for a lot of different things with this search feature, and it's really cool. Like, I'm going to type in my health, right? So the top hit is the calendar date for today. And just with my health, I didn't even get my health angel in, but it was able to search my phone and find that the top hit was the calendar date that I have in my phone. And if I scroll up, I'll see other calendar dates. I can get Siri suggestions, which this is not it. I have different contacts that's associated with my health, and so forth and so on. So that feature itself is really, really cool because it'll help you get to what you're looking for like ASAP. And on the iPhone 8s and below, you still have to swipe down from the very top, like about right here, and then you'll get that search and you'll be able to type it in. The other thing is when it comes down to, I want to start with the messages. I usually kind of save this for last, but there's a lot to it. So I want to start with this one because when I start with the last feature, this is kind of like wow, I can't believe it. And there's a lot of things in here that you could do. So with the messages itself, I like the feature of one, you can kind of go to the filters. So all I did was at the top left, I tapped on filters and you could see. So you could see all messages, and this is going to include everything that you see below. Known senders, unknown senders, unread messages, and recently deleted. So if you deleted a text message by accident, you'll find it in a recently deleted. And in here, it'll tell you that conversations show the days remaining before deletion. After that time, messages will be permanently deleted. This may take up to 40 days. So if you put something in here by accident, you have up to 40 days to recover that message. After that 40 days, they're gone. So you wouldn't be able to retrieve those messages. You have the options at the bottom where it says delete all, or you can recover all. Or you could just tap on one of these and just recover that particular message itself. So with that, I'm sorry, that's not for me. It's over there. Yep. Um, so with that, you go back here and you could see unread messages. So let's say you get a bunch of text messages all the time and you just want to hone in right on those messages. You could just go to unread messages and that's what you'll see. I like the fact that they can separate the unknown senders from the known senders because there are times that if you're getting a bogus text from perhaps like a fake Bank of America account, or saying that, hey, this is Bank of America, or it's just someone that you don't know, maybe it's legit or illegit, but you can at least kind of they're in their own category. An unknown sender means that they actually are not a contact in your phone. So then you can go there and look at all unknown senders and say, I'm going to separate this from my known senders. So in the known senders, anybody I message back that's saying that, hey, you know what, we actually have, I know this person possibly, or I'm saying like, hey, this is PayPal, like I'm okay with them. But when it comes down to the unknown senders, sorry, everybody kind of gets grouped in this group here, which is very cool because here's one right here that's fake from powerpill.click. And right here, I'm able to, this sender is not in your contact list, and I can tap on report junk. Let's report it and report junk. So now it's gone. So it's cool that you get to segment these, or Apple's doing this on your behalf, so that, just to try to insulate you from any of those threats out there, they at least put them in their own category. Now, if you go on all messages, everything is going to be in those messages. But if you want to actually go and look at those unknown senders, you can actually do that. With that, let's go back into here. At the very top, I am going to tap on the select messages. I'm sorry, the three dots here, the ellipses. You have select messages, which will allow me to select certain messages, and then I can delete them all if you don't want those messages in there. I'm not going to do that. I can also tap on that and I can edit pins. What a pin is the pins that I have up there. So these are my most like contacted people, or some of my favorites that I have at the very top, and I can remove those people, or I can add more people up there, and they kind of disappear from the list below, and now they're just seen as pictures there. So if I wanted to, let me just add Evan Otis here. I'll just tap on everything shaken. I'll tap on the pen. Oh, I can only do 9. Sorry. So up to 9. Let's get this guy out of here. And then let me add Evan. So now Evan Otis is at the very top. So I have 3 rows of people, and I have up to 9. So now Evan is up here. He was moved from the bottom right up here. When I tap on him, I get to get into those text messages here. In addition to that, when I go here, I can edit name and photo. What is that? So that's my name and my photo. So there are some people who, like my friend Sean here, he added a little picture of himself, and then that can go to others people's phones, and you can edit your name. You could be called whatever you want to be called, and then you can edit that, and then other people will be able to see that contact information. In addition to that, let's go to the little new message icon at the top right, and we are going to message the other phone. I think it's 758. Maybe not. All right, so let's text this number. I completely forgot what this number is, because I never call it. So let's do this. Hello. All right, perfect. So I just got to do message right there, and I'll tap on it. Let's go up to the top. There we go. So here's that text. And in here, I can see that I've been texting this particular person, even though that's the other phone, but let's just imagine it's a person, and we have it here. It's blue and gray because that indicates that the other phone that you're texting or messaging has an iPhone or an iOS device. That's very important. If it's gray and green, they probably either have an Android, or they may not have this feature turned on where you can send an iMessage. So the cool thing about this is, in this message here, this is what I really like. And actually, let me switch, because I want you to see the contact that I actually have. via here. Okay, so I'm actually going to show you the iPhone 8. Okay, as you can see this here, let's go back to messages, and there I am right there. So this is my actual phone. Now, one of the things that I really like about the new iOS, and they actually used to do it in the old OS, but if you tap on my name one time at the very top in the middle, I get to get I can go right to call. I can go right to FaceTime video. I can email this person. I can find out a little bit more info, send my current location, share my location. And in addition to that, anything that I've collaborated with this person, photos that I've sent them and we've sent each other, and so forth and so on. So different links. That's a really cool feature. So you can see what's been going on, the history of what you all been sending each other. If you just go, again, I'm going right to the text and tapping on that name at the very top, and then all of the links and images will show up right there as you scroll up. The other thing here, if you go into the iMessage here, I'll tap there. All right. So right now I'm able to type my message. Now we went over this before, and on this particular phone here, this is an iPhone 8, and I keep saying that because things are different. And I see your hand there, Eileen. I'm gonna get to you. Um, on that, I can hit the microphone and I can actually speak my message here. Now, if you notice, once I tap on that microphone, it's actually starting to record everything that I'm saying. And you can see underneath it the little lines that are picking up my voice. And then you have that little tiny keyboard there as well. I want to point these things out because when you are speaking in here and you don't want to use your fingertips to type that message, I usually watch what I'm actually saying appear on my phone to ensure that it's actually going in there properly. So a lot of times people will do this and they'll get excited and say, "Oh my God, Julius, I did it." And then what happens? It says it right there. So you have to, when you're done, you need to press the little keyboard to stop it. That's what you do. Okay? So I can send this if I wanted to, but I'm not. I'm going to actually press and hold. And when I press and hold, I get select or select all. I'm going to select all. And I'll just hit the little delete button, the little X on the keyboard, just to remove everything that I just stated that recorded me. Okay. And so now I actually have over to the left the little camera. The camera does a couple of things. One, right in that message, I can actually just take a picture live. Or if I already have pictures on there, look at the top left for me. It looks like a little image up there. If I tap on that, I'm able to now get into my photos. Right there, it's underneath. Now that's a little small screen. If I take that little line in the middle under iMessage and I raise that up, now I'm able to see all of my photos. So I'm just swiping through and I'm like, hey, you know what? I like this photo here. And when I tap on that photo, it has a 1 there. The reason why it has a 1 is it's giving me the opportunity to add more photos. So I'll tap on the other one right underneath it. So now I have 2. Those are the 2 photos that are going to go into this message if I tap on add at the top right underneath the X. But maybe I want to add 3. So now I have 3, but I don't want to send number 1 anymore. So I tap that again, and now I only have 1 and 2. When I tap on add, right now those pictures actually go right in the message. They haven't been sent yet. They're just sitting there waiting. I can add a comment and I can type it out, or we can actually voice it out. Hey, check out these photos here, period. Remember, when you're done, you want to hit that little keyboard to stop it. Now, I'm going to tap softly on the blue arrow that's pointing up. It goes right through. The reason why I said tap softly, because sometimes if you long press, or let me put something in here, because I know my conversation, I can do this next thing with someone with an iOS device. If I tap or if I press and hold that arrow, watch what happens. When I press and hold that arrow, a lot of people get this by mistake. A lot of people get this on purpose. Hopefully, if you are getting this, you're getting it on purpose. The reason why you will want to get this on purpose is because you can send with an effect. So at the very top, before we send this, I just want to bring your attention at the top to explain this. So when you send with the effect, you have two categories. One, the bubble. The bubble is everything that we see right here, and by default, you're going to land on the bubble. So you have invisible ink. So look at my text. I know it's like gibberish, but imagine it said happy birthday, right? If I tap on invisible ink, the little dot to the right of the words invisible ink, look at what it does to my message. It kind of hides it. If I were to send this to someone, when they receive it, I can do an image like this, or I can do text. When they get it, they'll have to wipe their finger over it to reveal the text because it's invisible ink. It's just a cool, funny feature that Apple created a couple of years ago, and you can send it that way. The other one above it, if I tap on gentle, notice that the arrow is now next to gentle. So when you tap on that, it will go to that person in a gentle manner. If I tap on loud, it kind of rings and then it'll come in loud. And then if I go slam, it just kind of slams down. In addition to that, you have on the top right, you have screen. So when you actually go screen here, you see at the very top, now I'm on screen instead of bubble at the top. You have to tap on that. I can go back to bubble, I can tap on screen. Now I want to bring your attention down to the bottom of my screen. You see those little dots down there at the very bottom? The one on the very left is darker than all the other ones. This one is called send with echo. So if you send a message with hearts, it'll make a bunch of hearts kind of go this way. If you send it with whatever you send it with, it's just going to echo that message like you see this functionality here. Now, if I take my finger and you're facing your phone and you swipe this way, you'll get to the other dots. And you'll get to see send with a spotlight. And you'll get to see send with balloons. You see that? Swipe again, you'll get to see send with confetti. Then swipe again, you can send with love. Swipe again, you can send with lasers. Now I'm getting all the way over to the end because you can see my little dot is going darker. I can send with fireworks. And the last one, I can send with celebration. Okay? So let me X out and back up really quick so we can recap. If you all didn't see what I just saw and you were trying to do it, the reason why it probably wasn't working is that you have to have someone in the to field that had, like, so for instance, if you just opened up a message and you tried to type something like me, that arrow isn't blue to the right. Why? You don't have anybody to send it to. So you have to put someone in the to field up here that has a device and they're going to be blue. You see that? I'll go with myself right here. I'm blue. Now I get the arrow that's blue and I can long press that. And then I'm able to get to the bubbles again. and then I can actually go with the screen. Okay. So now when we actually, I'll X out of here, and then my apologies. And then so now, my apologies, folks. All right, give me 1 second. So now when we actually go here, we're able to get out of here, and I want to go back to that message here, and then I want to go to the apps. Now, if you have questions about this, just write it down, put it in the chat. We'll go over that again. When you're in that message here, if you tap on the app itself, the little app store, because now the messages have their own app store. If I tap on that, look at what happens. I get the little apps underneath it. Okay. So pictures, I can actually bring up my pictures if I wanted to. And we saw that even with the camera. And it's kind of like outlined in gray. So let me tap on this here and let me go to the App Store. I can get more apps for messages only. Okay. And you can do all of these different things here. You can kind of look at that on your own, but it just opens up an app store for the messages. And mainly are going to be stickers and like fun stuff that you can send to people. Let me hit the X. I can actually send a voice message such as this here. Now it tells you to tap or hold to record. And let me do that. Hello, hello, hello. This is recording what I am saying, and then I can actually send that over. Now, being that I'm actually using this on display, it's not showing, but once I actually tap that, I can send a message, kind of like a walkie-talkie type of message. They'll get it. They can respond to it via text, or they can send me a voice message as well. To the right, you have like the whole working out thing with that coincides with the Apple Watch. You have recent things that you've sent and more things. Now, I get this question a lot about GIFs or GIFs. This is the little icon right there that we're on, and you're able to send images that's associated with keywords such as happy birthday or I'm hungry. Like this is one I sent before, feed me. And they're just moving images. So if you want to send a message to someone that says happy birthday, I'm tired, hey, what's going on? You're able to type in here where it says find messages. You could just say, let's go with what's up. Okay. Type in what's up, and you could send this to someone. Or let's say you're looking for a celebrity. Let's do Hulk. Okay. You can send something like that to someone. Anything you want. So if you're receiving these things, you don't know how to send it, and you have an iPhone that's built right in there, you don't have to go and download a separate app. It's already there for you. I'll hit the X at the top right, and now I'll send this. You have other things that you could do with here. I won't dive too much deeper into it, but there are a lot of different cool features. And obviously, you always have your emojis at the bottom on the left, and that's these guys that come standard in your phone. Okay. Now, backing out of here, I want to go into the calendar really quick and show you that now, if you aren't using your calendar, you could use it. I'm just going to go over this very quickly because I want to save more time for the Q&A. But in here, the way in which I'm viewing my calendar may be different than the way you're viewing your calendar. I like to view my calendar like this, where I could just tap on a day and see what's actually under that day. And it has a dot underneath that particular date that indicates that I have something on that day. If I want to add something here, I could say hit plus at the top right and say test. Okay. Once I go here, if that's a birthday, it will be all day. If it's not, and it's a certain time, I can actually tap on here and put in a time. The date is the same. Time zone, that's very important. Make sure you're on the right time zone. It could be repeating. So if it is a birthday, you can put it in there every year. If it's something that, a card game that you do on a weekly basis, do it every week. The calendar that's associated with it, you may have multiple calendars. This is my main calendar by default, and I use it. You can add invitees, and you can also add an alert. So you could say, hey, you know what? Remind me 2 hours before that this person has a birthday so I can send them a text. Also, you can add a second alert and say, you know what? Remind me a day before so that I remember their birthday. I can go and pick them up again. You can go and put in notes, type in whatever you want there, and then you can add it. So this is for you all who still have the black book, which is completely fine. But if you have that book and you're typing in doctor's appointment with doctor so and so, make sure you bring your records. You could do all of that with your calendar here. Popping out of here, I am going to go to the phone, and I'm skipping around for a reason. I want to go to the phone, and I want to show you now that in here, before you could not create groups. So for those who like to create groups of people in your contacts list, you can now do it. They call them lists. So here are all my contacts in here. Okay, swiping through. At the top left, I have lists. When I go to lists, it shows me all of my contacts. You may not have as many lists like myself, but I do have lists. So when I go at the top right, what a list would be group of people. So if you have immediate family or the bridge group or my Monday luncheon group, everyone that you want to add, if you go and tap on add list, and then you actually have different options. You may not, again, have as many options as I do, but I'll go with iCloud. Once I have iCloud, it allows me to create a list. So I'll say my angel, MHA. And then when I hit done, now I have a list there. Okay, there's in that list. So if I tap on this here, MHA, it gets me to this point. I don't have any contacts in there. So I can go and add contacts by doing this, tapping on add contacts. And then let's go and find Ashley. Do I have, oh, I don't have Ashley in this particular phone. So let's just add the real estate attorney. So I'll add them, and then we'll add Rebecca, Reggie, da 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 da. And now I'll hit done. So now I have all of these different people within this contact group or list. Okay, so just different terminology, but it serves as the same function. So now imagine I wanted to email this list. Look at that little email icon at the very top. I could just tap on email and boom. Let me open this up. Now it's going to email to all of those people in that list. So if you have a group of people, this is more important. We always get this request for people who want to email a group of people, or just organize your contacts, whatever you like. But if you want to email those group of people, ensure that you have their email in their contact in the right place, and then you can email them all at once, and that'll come from you. So you can do it right from the contacts app. You weren't able to do this beforehand. Another thing with the contacts app before we jump into email, you still have your same, phone number. If you call someone, you could dial that number out the gate, 1-800, whatever, if they're not in your contacts list. You have your voicemail, your recents. At the very top, you have all or missed. If you go to all and then you tap on edit, you have this option to clear it all, or you can just actually say, let me remove this one, let me remove this one, and I'm just hitting a little minus sign, and then you hit done. Your favorites, maybe you have, your son, your daughter, your aunt, your uncle, whoever you have, and you want to add as a favorite, you would hit favorites on the bottom left, and then tap on the little plus sign to add a favorite. I'll say Adrian's going to be one of my favorites. But when you tap on Adrian, what if Adrian has three numbers: a home number, a cell phone number, and a work number? Or the way that you contact him. Maybe you message Adrian more than you call him, or you FaceTime him more than you message or call. You have to choose one of these options to add as a favorite. So if I say call, there's his number. Now Adrian's phone is in there. If it was his messages and I usually message him more than call him, I can hit the plus, tap on Adrian, and then I'll say message. And now look at the difference. Some people have added messages versus call by mistake. And they're like, every time I go to my favorites and I tap on Adrian, it just opens up messages. I want to call him. You have to add that when you have to tell the iPhone what is your favorite way of contacting that particular person. And they'll give you that option right in here. Popping out of there and going into the Mail app. So if you're using your Mail application on your iPhone, it's really cool because everything kind of coincides and works with each other. So if you have an image, you can easily email it out. So tapping on mailboxes at the top left, I have different mailboxes here, but I just want to give you this idea where one, you can kind of go into your inbox and I can customize this list at the very top. If I tap on edit, I can say I don't want flag, I don't want VIP, I don't want attachments, I don't want thread, I want send later, follow up, and I can add another box. And I could say, you know what, even put my junk in there. I want to be able to see it. When I tap on done, and then done again at the top right, oops, now I get to see the things that I want to see, and I can customize that list. So when I go back into my inbox here, I'm looking at my messages here. The Uber Eats, I can either swipe this way and I can say, yep, I read it. I can remind myself that this email came in, and I'm just using my finger to swipe. If I swipe this way, I can flag it, I can trash it, and I can get rid of them just like that, just by swiping. Or I can tap on edit, select the messages here, and then I can trash it on the bottom right. In addition to that, one of the other things that I've seen on people's phone, and I just went out on a house call probably about a week ago because they had mentioned that they weren't receiving any messages, but some old messages that were unread. So look at the bottom left there. It's like a little circle with three lines in it. If I tap on that, it's only going to show me, it says filter by unread. So if you read a message, you won't get to see it, and you'll say, what happened to all my emails? Well, you have to uncheck that or release that filter by tapping on it again. When it's blue, it's filtered by unread. When it's not, it's going to show all your messages here. So just be cognizant of that. Bottom right, we're going to do a new message. And then we could see where it's sending from. We're going to send it to myself. Always put in the to fill, put whoever you want to send it to. If I wanted to add someone else, I can, but I won't. You can also hit the plus on the right, and you can go right into your contacts. The ones that are bold are the ones that I have an email address for. If they are grayed out, I don't have an email address in my phone for that person, so I can't email them in the first place. So it won't even allow me to select if I hit that plus. I'll hit cancel. So again, that's hitting the plus right there on the right, and then it'll gotta go through all your contacts. Subject, we'll say hello, and then we'll write our message. Testing. Now, here's a new feature where now you can send later. So sometimes I like this feature because now I can do it on my computer and my phone. There are times that I would want to write an email so I can save myself the time in the morning. And I was putting in my drafts before, but I also don't want to send it at 11 p.m. at night for a couple of reasons. One, I think it's unprofessional if it's business, even if they won't read it until the next day. But in addition to that, I don't want to have those people think that I'm working at 11 o'clock and they have the idea that they can email me at 11 o'clock and think I should be responding. So this feature is great because now I can press and hold this. I just long press that arrow like we did with the messages, and I can send now, send at 9 o'clock tonight, which I don't want to do, or I can send later. Now watch this when you hit send later. This is really cool. You could say, you know what? I want to send this out on the 28th, and I tap on the time, and I could say I'm gonna send out at a crazy time at 10:53 or at 7:53 a.m. So I can actually make it seem like I'm up at 5:53 in the morning, which I actually am. Unfortunately, I wish I can get some more sleep. But you can send that message at this time, and then when you hit done, watch what happens. So now it's not sent because we know we sent it or we're going to send it on another day. So how do you check it? Let's go back to mailboxes at the top left. Okay. And now we're able to send, let's see here, check our send later. You see where it says send later? And I have one in there. So you'll go in here and you'll say, well, yeah, that's the one that's supposed to be sent. Actually, I don't want to send it anymore. And we know how to swipe it. And I'm just using my finger. I'm going to let it go and kill that email. Another feature that they have is, let me go here, and we're going to send something to myself again, and watch this. Hello, test. And I'm just going to tap on send really quick, the little arrow. Nice. So now look at the bottom of my screen right there. It says undo send. If I sent that by mistake, I'm like, oh my goodness, I forgot to attach the image, or I didn't want to send it to them. So I had a couple of seconds to undo that send, but it's already gone. It reached the mailbox. So you can do that right now with messages as well as emails. So showing you how to undo send, even with messages, if I go here, now these were delivered. I had the option right now. Remember, I sent these messages earlier in my text messages. I just went from email back to text messages for a reason, to show you that you could do both of these and you only have a little bit of time to undo send or edit. So let me show you here. Hello. When I send it, it says delivered. If I press and hold that message, look at that. I got the option to undo send. Boom. So I just unsent a message. So if you send something by mistake, you can unsend it in messages. Again, you only have a certain amount of time. And also, the other person needs to have the same operating system on your phone that you have on your phone. And there's no way of you knowing that unless you call them up and say, hey, Eileen, what iOS do you have? Oh, I have iOS 16. Okay, cool. Then you'll know. But you could still try to unsend it. And if you can, it will do it. The other thing that you could do is, let's say I sent this and I was trying to say hello. If I sent that here, I misspelled it. I can press and hold that, and I can say edit. Hello. And now I'm going to send it again. It lets them know that I edited the message. So if you misspelled something, or like you were using the talk to text feature and something got misspelled and you sent it, you still have the ability to edit that message, but it's a certain time limit with that. I know I'm throwing a lot at you out there because I want some questions, but you have the ability right now to unsend a message, edit a message, as well as unsend an email. When you go to and you can find this on your phone for your iPhone, they'll show you some of the new features in iOS. So look, and this is just a tip for you all. When you go in here, it'll show you a few different things what you could do: reply later, edit a text message. You can go and check that out on your own. But that's in the Tips app, and it's yellow, and it has a light bulb. It's on your phone, unless you've deleted it. And I'm not sure if you can delete it or not, but I think you can. The other cool thing is that you could do is if you have a Mac, you can hand off phone calls. So if you start a FaceTime phone call here, you can go to your Mac and pick up that FaceTime phone call there, and vice versa. Another option that I like, here's my home screen that I have on my phone right now. If I press this right here really hard, and this is just on your phone, it's on the lock screen. If I press it, look at this here. I can customize this, and I can go over here and create a brand new screen and say, you know what, let me hit the plus, and I want to add something like this in the collections. Add a widget. What's a widget? I'll show you what a widget is. A widget is one of these things where it kind of gives you a little information about one of the apps that you have on your phone. So for instance, in this particular case, if I wanted to add my battery life right there, even though I can see it, I can. I'll tap on it, and I can use Nerd iPhone, and now I get to see right on my home screen 88% that I have. In addition to that, I can even add the weather. So I'll tap on weather, and now I'm able to add the weather on my phone, on my home screen. So when I tap on add, I can set as wallpaper pair, and now I have another screen. So this just means this is your lock screen here. I can see my battery life, and I can also see, I can also see the weather. When I press to go in, that's also my background right there as well. And I can change those out whenever I want by just pressing and holding this, and I can switch back to this one, just that easy. So some days you can be in the mood of having a different background, and you can change that out very fast, or you can keep the same one if you like. Last but not least, I want to show you in the camera app itself. If you got a new phone, this one doesn't have it on here, so I'll have to show you on the other one. Let me switch this here. Okay, so in the camera app, on the new phones, the newer phones, you have cinematic video, and it shows you. It's just a little bit more vibrant, and you also have your regular video. You have your photo, and you have your portrait. But like I told you before, I wanted to show you that you can use and take a photo with your shutter buttons, the one that's in the middle, the white one underneath photo, but also the volume buttons, either up or down. So I'll just snap a picture, and then now you're able to use that. So that's always been a feature, I would say, for the most part with iPhones, but you have that here. In addition to that, weather has gotten a little beefier. Past notes got a little beefier, like meaning they got some more features in there. But when it comes down to the settings, just to kind of show you, it's gotten richer, which I like, and things probably moved around. But just go in there and take a look and see what you have in there. But for the most part, everything when it comes down to the iPhone and the settings, this kind of stayed the same. But a lot of times people don't know that if you're looking for something like accessibility, you could just go up here and you can search it. Oops. So right here, if you're looking for something in your settings, you could just go and search that, just like we're able to do on the home screen. So make sure that you're familiar with that on how to change certain things, if you're looking to update Siri, it's always there for you. Last but not least, before we go into questions, I just want you to know that in the, which what is my books app? I think I have it in here somewhere. In the books app here, I can actually go into here and I can actually go right into my search and I can look for iPhone guide. So you can always get the iPhone user guide and it'll show you way more than what I was able to cover in this little short amount of time. It has everything and it usually go by iOS. So certainly check that out. You don't have to go and buy those one books they call like iPhone for Dummies and things like that. It's already free for you. Just have to go and download the ebook that they provide. That's it. Okay. So with that being said, I just want to leave some time for questions and answers because I'm sure you all have a lot of questions. I know Eileen had her hand up since like at the very beginning of the call, so we could start with you.
Go ahead, Eileen, if you want to unmute. Hold on. Go ahead.
I have 50 questions, so I'm going to just go to the iPhone store and just ask them all my questions. Let somebody else ask their questions now.
Okay. All right.
All right. Bonnie, go ahead if you want to unmute. Hold
Oh,
on.
wait, Bonnie, we can't hear you yet.
Hold on.
There, okay. Yeah, I had my hand up at the very beginning, but something happened, it went off, I don't know. But anyway, this may not be related to what you were talking about here. My question is, do you have a chance to explain how to rid of scam likely calls? I get so many of them, and there seems to be ways online, but to know how to do it or trust. But I don't know. I'm afraid to, which one would help. I don't know. But those scams are, I've been getting them since last month, about 16 to 20 emails, scams a day. Before that, it was a little less frequent. I still got them, but not. Okay.
Okay. Are these, you say emails or phone calls or text?
Phone calls.
Okay. So when it comes down to phone calls, one of the things that you could do is like there's an app. What carrier do you have with your phone?
T-Mobile. I have an iPhone 13.
Okay, so I would let me just show you all my, and I am going to. All right. So a couple of things here. Just looking up T-Mobile. So if you have AT&T, if you have T-Mobile,
No, I have T-Mobile. T-Mobile.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm just talking to everybody, just because this is a very
Oh,
general question. So for
okay.
you, for T-Mobile, I'll show you T-Mobile. But if you have like AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, Verizon, they should have something like what I'm actually going to show you all here.
Mhm.
So on my phone the other day, just so I can kind of test it out so you all will be able to see it. It's called Active Armor. This comes with my AT&T service. In your case, there should be an app, and here's my Active Armor here. And it shows that right now it's protecting my calls and actually shows me all of the people who call me, who's flagged, spam risk, and all of this good stuff. So it shows me that. What I would do in your case, Bonnie, is reach out to T-Mobile because I'm looking on their website right now. I don't see an app like this, but I believe they have it. What they say is, let me just show you all. Here's T-Mobile. this is what I just looked up via Google for phone plan support. Turn on off scam ID or scam block. So one, I was just sharing with someone the other day that and if you have an iPhone, you have the ability, I'm pretty sure if you have an Android, there's a way to do it as well. You have the ability to send unknown callers right to your voicemail. That could be good or bad for you all. If you're not checking your voicemail frequently, and let's say I gave you a call and I'm not in your contacts, I'm considered unknown, right? And so I won't get through to you, but I may go right to your voicemail and I'll say, well, hey, Bonnie, it's Julius. Make sure you give me a call back. Or if it's a scam, they'll probably leave a bogus voicemail, but then at that point, you can actually, choose to call them back or not. Or you can reach out to your carrier and then turn on an app such as this, the one that I showed you, or actually turn on the scam ID and scam block, whatever your carrier. So I would certainly, for everybody out there, even if you have AT&T and you see what I have, if you need some help downloading that app or turning that feature on, reach out to your carrier and they should be able to guide you.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I don't get any voicemail from them, from any. I've listened and no, and that means that it's not a legitimate call.
Exactly. And that's the purpose of, like, even if you had wanted to send the unknown callers to voicemail, most of these people aren't going to leave you a voicemail because they want you on the phone. So but I would say, you could turn that on, but just ensure that you know how to turn it off as well. But I think the best thing that I would do is reach out to your carrier and try to get like an app such as this, because they're all trying to put on that defense for everybody with the scam calls.
What do I do?
Yes.
Go to Apple Store in order to get the Active Armor? Or
No, this is a T-Mobile thing for you. It's your carrier itself.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you can either go to a T-Mobile store
Okay.
or call T-Mobile on the phone.
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
Okay. You're welcome.
All right. Bye.
Yep.
I gotta leave.
Okay. See you later, Bonnie.
All right, so Sharon, go ahead if you want to unmute.
Hi, yes.
Hey,
You're-
Sharon. Hello?
Sharon, you're on mute.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking at my phone. I think it's an iPhone 10.
Okay.
And I pressed the button for sending a new message and it's
Mhm.
under 2 and then it says CC/BCC.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Okay, cool. Yeah. So you're in your email, you're sending an email message, and so CC is going to be to copy someone. When you copy someone, let's say you're going to email myself and Nicole. You're sending it to Nicole, but then you copy me on it. So I get to see the message that you're sending to Nicole, and she also gets to see that I get to see that you're sending the message to Nicole. The BCC, if you sent the message to Nicole and then you BCC me, that's going to be a blind copy, which means that I get to see the message in which you sent to Nicole, but she doesn't see that I get to see that you sent the message. Usually what people, yeah, go ahead.
Also, it says from, and it's giving my iCloud address instead of my AOL address. How do I change that?
So you can actually tap on that where it says from, and you can toggle. If you have your AOL email in your phone, you can use either or, your iCloud or your AOL, and you can send from there. And when you tap on the from email address, you should be able to toggle down and tap on the other email, and then it'll send from that other one.
Okay, good. I just did that and it did it.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Now, all the things that you were talking about, I didn't have a lot of those icons and things and ways to change, like how did you, like the bubble thing and the
Yeah. So with the bubble thing, you should, if you're on like, iOS 14 or even 13 and above, you should be able to see that. But in order for you to see the bubble and do all of that stuff, you have to put someone in a to field. So for instance, if you're sending a message out, give me one moment. Okay, so if you're sending out a new message here, if you have to put someone in that field
Okay.
that
Did it.
has a message. So let's say Sean here. I'll add Sean in here. I
Okay.
message, type something out, and then you have to long press that arrow. Don't just tap it softly, but you have to long press it, and then you get the option to send with the bubble effect or tap on screen at the top right, and you can send with the screen effect, swipe left, and then you get all of these other options. But all of those things are the criteria. Putting someone in the to field, and then you also need to, apologies for the noise, the window's open. And then you also have to send, sorry, you have to have someone in the to field and then type in the message and you'll be able to see it.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
What if you hold the arrow down for too long by mistake? How do you get it out of that bubble?
Great question. So if you hold it by mistake, Eileen, like this, right? And you're in that bubble, just hit the X. It takes you right back.
X. Hit the X.
It's right underneath. There you go.
Hit the X underneath. Okay,
Yep.
thanks.
You're welcome. 49 more questions to go for you, right? All right.
Bye. Thanks so much, Julius. Thanks for
You're welcome.
everything.
You're welcome, Eileen. My pleasure.
Okay, Mariana, go ahead.
Oh, wait, can't hear you, Mariana.
Okay. How did you get the the Apple book again?
If you go to the iBooks app on your phone, if you still have it there, then the iBooks, then you'll go on there and you'll search for iPhone user guide.
Okay, iBooks.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that's on the Apple Pro 13 Pro.
It should. It's an app on there. If you still have it, if you don't have the app, you can always go and re-download it because it came standard on your phone at some point. And you can go to the Apple Store and download the iBooks app, and then in the iBooks app, go and get the iPhone user guide.
Okay, and
Yes.
how do you get change the picture on your phone? You did that?
Yeah, so if you have the new iOS 16,
Yeah.
basically what you would do is go into here. So here, I go to the screen. So if you press and hold it, then you can toggle back and forth.
Oh.
And if you want to add a new one, you just hit the plus here. I have different screens that I've added already. And like, here's my one. I could just do the emoji and I can actually add that one. That's my screen. So you just press and hold it and push it all over. And then you can add a new one when you hit the plus and add anything that you want in here. Images or ones that they already have for you. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Okay, Edwina, if you want to go ahead and unmute.
Yes, I have an iPhone 11 and I thought I updated to 16, but and that was just 2 days ago, but when I looked, it still says 15.7. Can I not update to 16 on an iPhone 11?
You should be able to. So what I would do is I would go back to your settings, the settings app on the phone, and then go back to the software update and then just ensure that it went through. Because if you downloaded and didn't install it, that's what probably could have happened. And then I would just check that.
Where is software update now?
Yeah, so if you were to go, you found it?
No, I went to
Okay.
settings, and under settings, I have 100 things.
Yeah, so in settings here,
Yeah.
you can go and you can always search it at the very top, software update, but you can go to general. And then if you go to general, then you'll see that software update.
It says
And there's
automatic
our
updates are on. It still says it's up to date, but it's iOS 15.7. Oh, down in the bottom, it says upgrade to 16. Just hit that.
exactly. Yes. And so make
Thank-
sure you're connected to Wi-Fi.
Oh, okay. I think so.
Hey,
Thank you.
may I ask you, you're very welcome. Forgive me, everyone. I've been drinking a gallon of water and I'm so sorry to share this information, but I actually have to just go to the little boy's room. If you give me 1 minute, I will be right back. My apologies.
All right. Okay, so I see. So Rita, that was your question. Edwina, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, so hang on. So we're gonna get, so
I'm
your
s-
question, we're still,
I'm still here.
okay, so as soon as he comes back.
Okay, I won't run, I won't go away.
Okay, okay, he's coming back
Okay.
in a second,
It
and
takes
then,
more than 1 minute to urinate, but it's okay.
yeah,
We
that's
won't
right.
tell him that. Yeah.
Right, exactly. All right, so we have that, and then I see Gloria's question about the search option. Rita, your questions are answered. You're good with your questions, because I see questions in the chat, so you're good. Trying to get to the rest of the questions in the chat because we're running a little over time. And Frida, as we'll get your question in, Pam, and then and I think, and Barbara and Helen. So yeah, so as soon as he gets back, we'll get to those, because we are a little over time right now. We usually end around 11 with these Thursdays, so let's just I don't know what he has after this, so let's, when he comes back, we'll get to those. And then we'll be all good there. So 1 second, and we'll just
When does Julius come on again?
he comes on for on November 11th for his technical, sorry, November 14th for his technical assistance hour. And that is at 4 p.m. Eastern time. And then he's back on December 1st. And that one is going to be addressing all things cybersecurity, which will keep you safe from scams and things. We get all these emails and texts now and all these things. And he's so great with all that. So that's going to be the next one in December. So we'll get to that, but he is back. So
I'm
let's
back.
get right to it, because I
Okay,
know we
thank you,
are
thank you.
definitely out of time. So
My apologies for doing my yeah. So I'm so sorry I had to leave. I have this gallon of water I've been
yeah,
drinking
no
like
problem.
crazy. Yes.
That's
So
fine. So Edwina, your question?
Yes, Julius, I'm gonna skip all the accolades of how wonderful you are and how gorgeous your child is, but I just have to ask you
Thank
this.
you.
You
Yes.
taught us how to get rid of an email, right? Go into to put on the name, hit that little arrow, and you get blocked. Then when I blocked it, Julius, I mean, getting these really risque emails. And once I blocked it, I got 10 more. And then I get up in the morning. Nobody loves, I mean, I'm sorry. Yes, emails. Nobody sends me that many emails. And I get all of these emails. And it's so frustrating to be, I want to stop it.
Yeah, you know, it's unfortunate that this is what's happening nowadays. I wish I had a solution to show you how to stop it. Unfortunately, these emails are, let me just go here. They come in no matter what. So most of the time, even if you block an email,
Right.
sometimes they'll send an email from a different email address. So you have to keep on blocking it.
Yes.
I get the same thing. So when it comes down to all of my junk, for instance, I get a bunch of junk. Sometimes it goes right into the junk mailbox. I delete my junk every day. Every once in a while, I'll get a legitimate email that goes into the junk. But in this case right here, let's just say, for instance, I'm in my email and we know Uber Eats is legit, but let's just say it's actually not legit. So if I tap on that email, the most important thing for you to look at the very top on your iPhone is you tap on Uber Eats at the very top, the one that's bolded. And then it kind of turns into blue. And then you look at that again and you can see that, hey, this is actually Uber at Uber. This is a legitimate email. So yes, you can block this contact, but if they're going to send a bunch of messages acting like they're Bank of America and they're going to send it from a bunch of different email addresses, bogus email addresses, unfortunately, you would have to block all of those emails. And I get inundated with bogus emails all the time, but honestly, I can tell you, not as much as you all do, because they're targeting a certain demographic and they're sending them to you all more than they're sending them to me. So in that case,
But
I wish,
Julius,
yeah,
I'm 80 years old. I don't need sex emails coming in, and that's what I'm getting. I mean, I cannot tell you, I get like 10 a day.
yeah, it's one of these things that I wish I could tell you how to. It's the wild, wild west. There's no law, and there's a law, but they don't live by it because there's
Right.
no regulation in that world. So they can just hit you with a bunch of messages, and unfortunately, they it will just go on your box. Now, I don't want to tell you to change your email address. Um, it's an option if your email, that particular email, is getting hit all day. One
Right.
of the things you could do is you can keep that email address, but then maybe set up an iCloud or a Gmail address that's a little bit better about funneling the bogus stuff into the junk, and then just giving out that email address to the most important people, to your bank, to your credit card, all that good stuff. Keeping the other one and just slowly transitioning the people out of that email address and giving them your new one that's important, and just keep checking it. But then now all the bogus stuff will go there and they won't have your other one.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, that's an option.
Okay. Thank you very much. And
My pleasure.
thank you for your program. I absolutely love it.
I'm glad to
Really
be working
so
with my
good.
health angel and provide these services for you all.
Yes. You went too fast today, but I think I'll catch it on, you've got to repeat it because you did go very fast.
Yeah,
And
you
the
can
people
always
that are
watch it.
82.
Yeah, we
Okay.
have it on demand. You can rewatch
Okay.
it on the video.
Thank you.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move along to the chat just to cover those questions as we wrap this up, because it's I know, Julius, it's 11:20. So Gloria asked, how do I put the search option on the front?
Okay, Gloria. So which phone do you have?
Gloria there?
Yes. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
I think I have the iPhone 12 or 13.
Okay, now have you upgraded your phone to the iOS 16?
No, I have the 15.7 or whatever. Yes.
Okay, yeah. When you upgrade if you go into your settings, general, and then go to the software update, when you go to
Okay.
16, then you'll have that search feature. They put it at the bottom automatically for you.
Okay. Okay. Thank
Okay.
you. Okay.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Okay, all right. So then, and I know we got to Rita's question, so she was all good. Mary Lou, how can I see what release I am on? I have an iPhone 13, but I don't have the features you're discussing.
Okay, Mary Lou, like if you were to go into your settings, and I'm going to share this with everyone to make sure that you're on the same operating system, you want to go into, okay, settings, and then from there, you go to general, and then from there, at the very top, underneath about software update, and then it'll tell you that you're up to date 16.1 or whatever. If you're on iOS 15, you may have an update for iOS 15, but at the bottom it'll say upgrade to iOS 16. You will want to do that. Make sure you got enough charge. Make sure you're not going to need your phone for the next 30 to 40 minutes. Is usually pretty quick, because it'll download first and you can still use your phone. But then after that, once it goes through its update, the phone will kind of turn off, come back on, and do its thing. So just make sure you have the time to do it. If you have time to do it this afternoon, by all means, do it. If not, I would do it later tonight.
Okay, thank you. While I was waiting, I did find that. But now I
Okay,
have
awesome. Yeah.
another problem. How do you get around the code that you don't remember? There's a code.
The code that you use to get into your phone?
Oh, is that the one maybe?
Is it like the digits?
Yeah, okay. Well, maybe that's what it is. I will
Try
try
that.
that. I will try
Okay.
that. Thank
All
you
right,
so much.
perfect. All right, you're very welcome.
Okay, Barbara Waldron.
Yeah, Julius, I agree with the lady. You went a little bit fast on my brain. I can't comprehend so fast, Julius. You know, but I kind of went along. I have my phone in front of me, and you were showing her how to upgrade, and I kind of went along with it. And the message said iOS 15.7. That's what I'm upgrading to.
Actually, it should be underneath that, Barbara, where you see iOS 16. Do you see that on your phone?
No, I say iOS 15.7.
And what about like all the way to the bottom of that screen? It doesn't
Oh,
say any.
yes.
There you
Upgrade
go.
to iOS 16.
There you go. And for the record, you guys are all right. I'm not saying I know I went fast. There was a lot to cover. And I wanted to try to at least kind of show you, not just walk you through, but just kind of show you what this new car could do on the Autobahn. And then you all kind of ask questions. So I promise you, I didn't even cover 10% of all the new features in the iOS because there are a lot of different changes that just happened with this new update. But that was like the most important features that I was excited about for you all. So knowing that, write down your questions, and, even for our tech hour, I can still obviously answer some questions about your new iPhone, the updates, but then also guide you in the direction of, their Apple actually show it on their website. You can YouTube some stuff, Google some stuff, but then I'm also here with my health angel as well.
I do want to make a correction. It's not that you went too fast, it's that you gave us so much.
It made your head explode, right?
That's what it is. Yeah, right. I have so many questions. I don't know which one to ask because it's so much.
There again, but you and Eileen, Barbara Waldron, you're always in sync with the 50 questions, right?
I have no idea why Eileen and I are that way.
Right?
But Julius,
Yeah.
just quickly, so if I wanted, I can actually upgrade my phone to an iOS 16 by just pressing this?
Yeah, and when you press it, what will happen, Barbara, is it'll start to go and get the update. It'll prepare it. And then once it go and get the update, then it'll start to download the update. And that takes a little bit, depending upon your internet connection. Once it's downloaded, then your phone you can actually install it. You would have to press install, you can install it, and then your phone will go off. It'll install, do its thing, and then when it comes back on, then you'll have the latest OS.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, so I could do this like much later tonight.
Absolutely.
When no one is calling me. So I don't think you can see my phone. I just have to touch the bottom here.
Yeah, and just follow those directions. It'll guide you right through, Barbara, and you'll just tap on that little option that says upgrade to iOS 16. And then it'll start the process itself.
Yeah, do it before you go to bed when you're not using, because it takes a couple minutes.
It takes a little while.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, I do appreciate it. I tell you, when I first had your class, my first class, I had no idea what you're talking about. So every class I learn a little bit more. I'm a slow learner with technology. And right now I bought a wireless headphone. I didn't even open it yet. I don't know how to do it. I'll figure it out later.
Nice.
And then I bought a whole lot of electronic gadgets. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'll take the weekend and figure them all out.
You're a nerd now, so that's cool.
There you go. And any other question, you could always bring it to his technical hour, and he'll help you out with that.
But I appreciate you, and I speak for all of us. We love and appreciate you.
Oh man, I love and appreciate all of you. I'm glad you all come back all the time. Sincerely, it's great talking about all this stuff and being able to educate you all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Barbara. Frida S asked, her iPhone 8 Plus is paid for. Why should she purchase a new costly 14?
Frida, I would say it's not necessary. So if you're depending upon how you use it, how you drive it, the iPhone 8 Plus, again, I still use it for the work phone for certain purposes. I personally, I have an iPhone 13. I won't upgrade to the iPhone 14. I don't need it. If for whatever reason, the only reason I would say for you to purchase a new phone, not the iPhone 14, but just to kind of future proof your phone, because at some point, and we talked about this before, I was talking about this with Ashley and Nicole, and I'll just share my screen. At some point, you will not be able to get the new updated iOS. So right now, in order to update to the iOS 16, you have to have at least an iPhone 8 or 8 Plus. If you have an iPhone 7, you're just not going to be able to do it. So you may, like, let's say next year, the new iOS 17 comes out, they may say,
And we lost him.
I think we just lost him.
We just lost. I have that. All right. That's it. See, technical gurus have technical problems. So it is not all of us. We all have them. The main guy, the head guy running the Zoom, the tech nerd, just zoomed out. So there's always something, right? Never Zoom without a Zoom blooper. So he may just try to come back in here. So before we end this call, he was definitely in the middle. So he's probably going to try, unless he lost Wi-Fi or something like that. Ashley, has he tried reaching out to you?
No, I'll try giving him a call now and see if.
Yeah, if it's his Wi-Fi or
back
something.
in.
Yeah. But if he doesn't, then just so y'all know, he is going to be back with us on the 14th of November, Monday, for Technical Assistance Hour, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Bring all your questions there. And then on Thursday for cybersecurity, they're really focusing on that on December 1st at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. You could sign up for that at myhealthangel.com, or there should be an invite in your inbox. Tomorrow, just letting everybody know, live virtual tour exploring Anne Frank's world. It is unlike anything else. It is phenomenal. Very, very moving tour. It is different than the other ones we've had. It is a live virtual walking tour in Amsterdam at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And we are going to be doing basically her last walk and where she was before she went into hiding. So if you've never been on one of our WOWs 2 tours, highly recommended. It's amazing. It's live. It's happening in the moment. Oh, there he is, our technical guy who had technical problems.
yeah, and you know, my technical problems were my battery died. I only had it set for.
You see that? Your battery died. That happens to the best of us.
So yeah, I'm so sorry, Nicole,
That's
to
okay.
interrupt, but I just wanted to just kind of clear this up. So that's why, Frida, you would probably want to upgrade to the latest phone, but you can get the 11, you can get the 12. The 13 will be cheaper than the 14, and it actually does the same thing as the 14. 14 just has a little bit more bells and whistles, but I don't think you need to spend the extra buck if you are considering upgrading.
Okay, so that was Frida's answer.
Yeah.
And then there was Pam wrote in something, and the last question, Helen. Those are the last 2 questions. So Helen's a little shorter. I've been told to wait until a new iOS release has been updated. So wait until the 16.1 is released. Do you agree?
Yeah, so that when it comes down to any operating system that gets released on Android, iPhone, Mac, Windows, whatever, usually it's good enough for us all to use. They will have bugs. They won't know about those bugs until everyone's using them. And that's why, you know, when you upgrade it to iOS 16, iOS 16.1 came out. Those updates are usually for new features and or bug fixes. When they find that, hey, if there's like 1 million people having an issue on a certain type of phone, or 10 million people, they can see those analytics on their own, and then they'll say, we need to put out 16.1. Or if they need to enhance a feature or things of that nature, they're going to actually give you an update. So I think iOS 16 works pretty smooth. It's not bad. And then you can always go with the 16.1. There'll be a 16.2 and a 16.3. Right now, we're at 15.7 if you're still in iOS 15. So there will be updates. And I think it's, honestly, from what I've seen, it's safe to go with the iOS 16.1.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're
All
welcome.
right. So Pam, can you see that question in the chat box? It's a little, just want to make sure you understand it because it's a long, I have an iPhone SE now version iOS 15.6.1, and I install all of the updates. People at the small phone store near me say, unless I like to spend money, my phone is fine. They've made some minor repairs and have been very helpful with some of my questions. Some of us are more of a or one. Some of us are in more than one quilt guild. Can I add a person in more than one list? I've never made lists, but this would be handy.
Yeah, so as far as like updating to like the new OS, because Nicole, I can't when I got off, I couldn't see the chat anymore.
Oh, I see.
So
Okay.
right now, yeah, so thank you for reading it. Yeah, so upgrading, I don't think anybody needs to upgrade the physical phone to the next level unless, you wanna. I like the new iOS. When you upgrade to a new iOS, it always gives you new features, right? In addition to that, it gives you more security. So it's the latest and greatest security that Apple has for their devices. Do you need to upgrade? Need is a very strong word. So I wouldn't say that. If you're using the phone in the very basic sense, just as a phone, maybe not. But if you do want to stay up to date with the latest features and security, I would say update. But again, you don't have to upgrade to the next iOS 4. I mean, to the iPhone 14. If you do, then when you get that phone, you'll be able to keep that for the next 5 or 6 years, or however long they last until they cut you out with the new OS. With the new operating system, if your phone can go to the next OS, even if you're not using those features, I like it from a security standpoint because they will beef up their security for that particular phone, and it will work better, or it should. At some point, it was like kind of slowing phones down, but I think they've gotten better at that. If they tell you that your phone can go to that next level, it won't work as it used to. It may work just the same, if not better. So when it comes down to that, that's great. The last part of it was the whole list. When you're creating lists for your phone or groups, just to go over it really quickly because I know we're running out of time. It's just like this here. Let me show you. Get this right here. And you can always look this up online as well. So when you want to create a list, and again, this is like a list that you're going to email. So you can actually go right up here. When you're in your contacts, these are all my contacts. I'll go to list at the very top left and then add a list. You have to choose. I have different accounts on my phone. That's why it's popping up here. You may only have one, but I want my contacts to be synced and my list to be synced via iCloud. So I would say MHA is going to be my list. And then when I add that list, then I hit done. Now that list is added and I have 0 contacts in there. If I tap on that, then I will be able to add contacts, whoever I tap on, and those people will then go into that particular MHA list. If I go back to list at the top left, then you'll see I have 6 contacts in that particular list. Does that answer your question?
I think so.
Okay.
A lot of us in quilt guilds are in a number of quilt guilds. So it's like, okay, Susie and I are in like 6 different guilds. So
yes,
can we, should be added to all those lists. Okay. Well, I thought I usually got an automatic update notice and did the updates then. And I found the 15.7, which it is now installing. And I'll go look for 16. And I also noticed on the list, they mentioned an SE second generation and third generation or something like that. I know I'm an SE, but I don't know which generation.
Yeah, and you can look up that you're correct. It was let me show you here, the second and third generation. So if you go into your iPhone and you go into the settings and then about, it should give you the model name
Okay,
of your phone.
right.
And then you also have the model number and serial number, which that's what they used to only offer. But now I have my model name as an iPhone 13 Pro. So they should tell you which one of these you are.
Okay, great.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, thank you.
All right. You're very welcome. My pleasure.